Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was sold. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light, but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is dying, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light, but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. And the dark's all that I see when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where I to pass the line.
close, it starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I wanna say goodbye. I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts when you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
All right. Oh my goodness. Hi everyone. Welcome to the I'm about to say POW Jams Circuit Master Roundtable featuring Alexa and Swagamuffin. So really quick intros around the table here. We've got Lady Kelfie to my left, to your right, our awesome
Hey
co-host
there.
over here. Yes, welcome. To my right, we have Alexa and Swagamuffin, and I'm Pow. Okay. So what we're going to be having a chance to do today, we're going to have a chance to discuss circuits. All right, circuit V1, V2, and also have a chance to pick their brains. These guys are some of our amazing circuit masters here and pioneers in RecRoom. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive deeper into your backgrounds and intros. So Alexa, tell us about yourself and how you got started in RecRoom.
Um, so, to everyone who actually didn't know, I didn't start RecRoom like as my profile said. I found out about RecRoom when it was first published, like its first like version back in 2016. It's just that I didn't have any VR headset back then. It was just I started like looking about VR and how VR is going, and I stumbled upon RecRoom, and I was really cool to see this new social game, but I was very sad that I couldn't join. But in 2018, I finally got enough money to get myself my first headset that I'm using right now, and I started playing RecRoom. Um, I haven't really touched the Maker Pen until 2019, per se. I think it was after like after the sandbox died. That's when I started using the Maker Pen.
Nice.
I remember the
And
sandbox.
Yes.
That was great.
everyone does. I started going into more in depth about math chips, and I was really interested about how like circuits is really cool in Backfilm and how you can do a lot of stuff with it. And then along with the ways, and I come to the end of 29 the end of 2020 when CV2 gets released, and I got really into that too. So by now I also teach a creative class called the puzzle class, and in there I go more in depth about circuits when it comes to building puzzle
Mhm.
rooms.
Oh, nice. Love
Soon I
it.
also starts showcasing CV2 once I'll get better understanding of it. Um, Fun fact: English is not my main language.
See,
I'm
Oh,
to
not
me,
native in
that's really
English.
impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
The fact that you can do like amazing circuits and gadgets, and English isn't even
Mhm.
your native language. Like, I am native, and I can't even do anything. So to me, that's really impressive.
So how I look into circuits, I go more in depth about. I try to imagine what I'm trying to do, less
Right.
than just seeing it, like seeing the circuits themselves. I try to look like ahead of it. I'm
Mhm.
trying to like imagine what you can do, and that's how I usually build my systems.
Mm,
Oh, nice.
it's very interesting.
Awesome.
It
All right.
doesn't always work out, but
Mhm.
usually does.
Love it. All right. This is wonderful. I love how we're getting started over here. And over here to Alexa's right, your left audience is Swagamuffin. Swagamuffin, how did you get started in Rec?
I bought a headset in February 2019. Started playing Rec Room the next day, and yeah, never really looked back. I tried VR chat
Oh, wow.
once or twice, but there were a bit too
Right.
much um, guys with anime girl avatars made me a little bit
Definitely.
uncomfortable. So also their limb movements are so weird. So I love
They
that
are, aren't
Rec Room
they?
doesn't have limbs.
It's
Yeah.
And let's hope they never add limbs, or else I'll be really upset. That would just be so weird to
If
see characters
if
with
Rec Room
limbs.
ever gets arms, I'm gonna sit on the floor, pretend like I'm walking on my arms, and paint the hell out of people.
No, oh no, that would be so cursed. That would be literally. Oh, that
Yeah.
would be one of the. Oh, jeez, no, I hope that never happens.
Mhm.
Picked up the Make Pen not too soon
Yes.
after. My first
Mhm.
invention was a horribly asymmetrical little goldfish that I quite
Oh.
not soon after clamped to a basketball, so I could throw it around. And then I made a chess set, and I was
Oh,
like, "Hey, this is oh
Oh
oh,
wow.
Oh no.
another one bites the dust."
Rip Alexa. Another one bites the dust.
Oh, no worries. All right, audience, no worries. Let's go ahead and
And
invite them back. Yeah, continue.
yeah,
Mhm.
after I made an entire chess set, I was like, "Hey, this is pretty fun." Um, I started fooling around, playing around a little
Mhm.
Mhm.
with building more art. Wanted to make my own room, and that's how the BD Wizards realm started existing. And from there, I got some friends together, and was already, you know, playing around with circuits a little bit, making custom weaponry, making some joke items. And for the first contest room I ever did, Haunted High, which you can see
Mhm.
the
Oh
credits
wow.
on my banner. That's still the credit room from all the way back.
Wow.
I
Oh
took
wow.
all the circuitry upon me, and from there on, just kind of kept going, kept rolling. Became a teacher in the Make Pen class Q&A and attended regularly, try and you know bring other people knowledge of circuitry. And then at some point, RecRoom was like, "Hey, do you have a video online?" I was like, "No, what is this about?" And they were looking for
Mhm.
someone to make yeah, circuit videos because Circuits V2 was coming. And
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
yeah, so I slapped a video together because I was like, "Hell no, I'm not letting this opportunity get away from me." And they were like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, this is good enough, I guess."
Oh, amazing.
Wait,
That's
so does that
amazing.
mean you still upload Sega videos or?
Circuits V2 is internally. There's a lot of change waiting to happen. That's really gonna put
Mhm.
some builds upside down. So it's
Yeah.
hard to make videos at the moment that are gonna, live through all
Okay.
that change. So they're gonna, how do you say? They're not gonna have a shelf life long enough.
Mm,
Um,
Gotcha.
I also manage the circuit
Gotcha.
think tank, which
of
yeah,
course.
if you're interested in
Which is
circuitry, come check
yeah,
it out.
it's you can
Oh
definitely learn some
yes. Well,
great circuits there. It's really helpful.
yes. We'll
Yep.
definitely love to get into that as well. Discussing about that as
Every
well. Love it.
everybody that has make pen, so use it wisely. But that's also
Mhm.
necessary to learn some circuitry. So
Of course.
yeah,
Of
come check
course.
it out if you're interested.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll go around the table. We have some questions that we've gathered from the community. Yeah, just our very first question being, what inspires you to build? We can start off with Alexa. What inspires you to build?
um, to be honest, I usually
Mm-hmm.
like when it comes to build, I think he means like circuitry. Um,
Hmm.
I
Sure.
really like circuitry, and I love doing like the stuff that I like to do. So, for example, stuff that are original, stuff that I think of myself. That's why I don't have like a lot of rooms that I've published yet. I kind of have a
Mm-hmm.
mind
Mm-hmm.
block recently. It's not. I
Okay.
just can't think of like something very very cool that people will think to check out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I usually just when I do secretary, I think of something original, think of something that I like to do.
Oh, nice. What was one of your first I'm really interested in that. What was one of your first projects that you were like, oh, this would be a cool idea. Want to work on this. Like, what was an idea or
Um,
project you worked on 1st? Mm-hmm.
my first ever main project was with me and Apple Juice about half a year ago.
Oh, nice.
It came
Mm-hmm.
down to a room called Crowd Control, which is a really cool mini game where there's three players on a battleground, and one player is controlling where the AI spawns. That took me
Oh
a
no
lot of
way.
time to figure out how to do it in CV1.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna
room
say
is
that must have been with
published, yeah.
CV1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have
Oh,
to check
wow.
it out.
It was it was very hard to do it, and I'm really proud of what I accomplished in it, and that kind of
Mhm.
started everything. Like everything,
Oh
like to
wow.
get yeah, I'm serious about this.
Wow.
Like before
And you've
that, it was
loved
Aw.
just hey,
circuits
I
ever
just like doing
since?
it.
Oh
I
my
loved
god,
Yeah.
no
circuits
way.
before. I just made it more of like a main thing that I do in Rec
Yeah.
Room. Before that, I would usually more like do you play.
Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
I just build from
Wow.
now on, like just do
That's
circuitry.
insane.
I love
That's
it. What was
insane.
something specific about that project you were like that you probably learned? It was like an aha moment, like, oh my gosh, this is me. This is part of who I am. This is my
Um,
core.
kind of the system where only one person had to spawn a certain, and you had to like wait for like some points you come back up, because if you just spawn
Mm-hmm.
them instantly, it would just not be fair. So I had to get around the
Mm-hmm.
system with points that only like, for example, one every like 1 minute 30 seconds. And kind of the AI like behavior,
Mm-hmm.
it was very weird back
Right.
then. Sometimes they would
Mm-hmm.
just fly out of the map, or just get stuck.
Mhm.
I had to like
Oh
find
wow.
ways to go around that.
I mean, it's probably because
Mm-hmm.
they were pretty new to coming out. Wait, so
Oh
were you
yeah,
Right.
talking about when you
they
first made that map? So you used AI
yeah
in it?
yeah, I
Oh, no
use
way. So
AI in
that
it.
was about
Yeah.
half a year ago then.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Then
it was when
that's
AI came out. It was like almost, I think, 3 weeks after AI came out, something like that.
and you already started working
Oh
with
wow.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
that's
really
also
impressive to me. That's
yeah, it totally is. I also wanted to make sure the audience knows what your currently what your role is currently in the creative club community. You're helping out with classes and what you're teaching.
Um.
Can you go a little bit about into that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now, most of what I do is I try to help people get into circuits, whether it's CV1 or CV2. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if if they have any questions, like I said, hey, feel to message me anytime. I'll come back
Mm-hmm.
to you. I'll join you. I'll help you as much as I can. So what I'm doing when I'm in the creative community is just to help people get into circuits like I did, and trying to help them.
Oh, love it. Love it. And Swagamuffin, what inspires you to work with circuits and build in Rec Room?
Mm, think a lot of my stuff that has been actually published and isn't for a contest is
Mm-hmm.
because there's something that I haven't found in Rec Room yet, and I want, you know, to be there. Or it's very recent, a bit more recently, I brought out Smog City, which is a PvP map that
Oh, yeah.
um, has a little bit of, character customization in it. It is still
Mm-hmm.
freeform PvP, like you often see it on the hot page, but just
Right.
with a bit more depth, a bit more gameplay, a bit more, interesting variation. And I think it's a yeah, it's a lot of that. It's seeing something and thinking like that is cool, but what if we slap some extra things on there?
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Make it a bit more unique, make it a bit more original, add in some extra gameplay elements. Um, Catching up was very much like that, because there's a lot of rooms that advertise themselves as parkour rooms, but really they're just
Yeah.
sort of walking puzzles.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
no
walking
offense to the
puzzles.
room, but it's a little bit of a miscategorization. And I just wanted
Oh,
something that
interesting.
was really flowing, a lot of movement, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
climbing, high jumps, wall runs, and
Oh, oh my
that's how
God.
catching up got started.
I love that what you're describing too. What is the difference between what you said, walking puzzles and parkour maps?
Um, well, parkour by definition is a little bit about, you know, about flowing movement and creativity. It's being able to
Mm-hmm.
see obstacles before you, and, through proper movement, being able to think on the fly and how to get through there in with least resistance possible. And a walking
Mm.
puzzle is something like you have 4 beams in front of you, 3 of which are decorative, so you just have to fall twice
Mm.
and walk forwards.
Oh yeah.
It's not flowing, there's no movement,
Oh.
it's just a random chance of failure, which kind of
Oh.
interrupts your flow
Oh.
of movement. It's a different design philosophy, so to speak.
Oh,
Wait, so
okay.
what
Wow,
room
that
would you
is.
prefer to create out of those two?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely catching up, absolutely parkour.
Oh.
I love the climbing, I love the wall running. The
Mm.
whole stunt runner vibe
Oh yeah. Oh,
is
honestly, being able to like jump on walls, climb up,
Mhm.
it's so exciting. So I think that's
yeah,
why like tons of parkour rooms have recently came out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No, definitely.
it's because a
Mhm.
big part of the Rec Room player base is screen motors, and they have a lot more problem with climbing and wall running
yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Right.
the walking
Mhm.
puzzle rooms are a lot more popular because they're more accessible to a majority of
Yeah.
the players.
To all
Oh,
players.
So I
okay.
understand why it ends up on the hot page. I just wanted to see,
Of course.
something a little bit
Of
different.
course. Thank you for helping distinguish the two. I myself was, I
Yeah.
guess I was categorizing it all as one. I
Yeah,
started playing
same. I
Rec Room.
actually didn't know either.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, like I was calling it parkour, but actually think it was more walking puzzles or something
Walking puzzles,
of that matter.
platforming, yeah.
Excuse me. So I actually started really playing Rec Room a lot more in this past summer, as much as I do now. It was this past summer 2020, and it was originally because of parkour maps, because I was checking out like the mechanics. I hadn't looked at Rec Room since it first came out, and it was just really lightly back then, when before there was even MakerPen. So when I
Mm.
came into Rec Room in
Mm.
2020 summer, I was like, wow, I can wall
Mm.
run, I can climb, and I was just,
Yeah,
my palms
I
were
know. It was
sweating
insane.
because I was in such great heights, and I was like, I love these challenges, and I was like, oh my god, I can live in here every day, just challenging myself. So that actually got me back into Rec Room, was I guess walking puzzles
that
like the two.
See, that
Mm.
was actually the same for me because I remember when
Oh.
Stunt Runner came out, that got me back into Rec Room
Hmm.
because I just constantly play Stunt Runner. Like, oh my god, I loved it so much because you could just jump on the walls, you could run, and I even watched videos of like how to how to get like S plus or S or whatever it was
Right.
because I wanted
Yeah.
to get all the items.
Oh, and I
But yeah,
love
that's
it.
definitely what got me
So
back
Yeah.
in.
yeah, so I'm just curious about when it comes to design around parkour and walking puzzles. You mentioned walking puzzles. It's like, okay, an example of an element of a walking puzzle is like, oh, you have two decorational floors. You have to figure out which one to walk across. That's like environmental. Um,
I think
I
I
feel like
think
I've seen a hybrids of maps where you have a little bit of both.
I
Hmm.
think one of the other defining things about parkour is that there's
Yeah.
not a defined path.
Mm.
Hmm.
So you have to be creative. You have to be able to think like, oh, there's path this, path that, and path A, B, and C. And I know
Oh,
with my like level of skill, my fastest path is B, like that thinking on the fly. The um,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
that whole
Mm.
that's
element about it.
parkour.
Yeah.
I think parkour
Oh
is a bit
my
more free.
goodness. Yes. Okay. I've definitely not been playing parkour. I've been playing walking puzzles this whole time. This whole time. Okay. I guys only had one direction to choose and obstacles to think through. Yeah. Oh my god. My brain, you guys, my brain. I had a new wrinkle today. Brain wrinkle. I learned something. Thank you so much. All right. Our next question from the
That's
community
just
is.
it is.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'd
Swagger,
like
please.
to preface that is just the way that I personally look at it. If
Sure, sure.
you know, if someone
It
Makes
slaps in
more
a
makes
few
sense
sense.
wall
that way.
runs and calls it parkour, then absolutely.
Oh,
That
gotcha.
is just
No,
what parkour means to me personally.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was just like the first time I've heard walking puzzles, so I just get excited when I learn something new. I love it. Walking puzzles. I would like to design both one of these days. All right. So our next
Same.
question from our community is how when you first started with circuits, how did it click for you? Like, did it take a lot of
Mm.
time to learn? What was that like when you first started doing circuits? And how did it click, Alexa?
Um, I'm trying to think because that was kind of when
Oh,
it started to click. let me. Um, I think when, the first thing I ever did in CV2, I started on math trips, and it finally
Math
kind of
chips.
yeah, it kind of finally clicked to me once
Mm.
once I like started actually like messing around with circuits like circuit I saw like circuits that people made, and I started actually messing around with them, and it finally just clicked, and then I started making my own. I just
Oh,
started
nice.
looking on like the some of the rooms that had pictures of the circuits.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm planning
Okay.
for all of my rooms to have kind of an extra subroom that showcase all of the circuits
Mm-hmm.
that were in it, and like shows you like how I did it, how you can do it too. Like just I just want to show people what I see.
Mm.
Oh, love it. And what about for Swagamuffin? How did circuits click for you?
Mm, I think it's because I've got a history in like electric engineering and mechanical engineering. So
Oh, nice.
Circuits V1 has a lot of like inspiration from there,
Mm-hmm.
especially electrical engineering, the logic
Oh, wow.
behind it, working with the numbers.
Mhm.
It also takes a lot of examples from logic games in other systems.
Mm-hmm.
Think I remember it being heavily inspired by a logic system in Factorio, which is if you like messing around with circuitry, it's a pretty fun game to check out. It's about building your own factory, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, there's just a
That's
lot of
awesome.
little bits from other things that I already knew that kind of congregated uh, in a
Mm-hmm.
single space that was Circuits V1. So once I actually had a bit of an idea of what was possible, the rest kind of flew forth from that.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice. I love it. How did you
I also would
decide?
like to
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Please, please go ahead.
I also just wanted to add that um I did have a bit of programming as a background, not a lot of it,
Oh,
but
yes.
I think it did help on getting CB2. Like
Oh, nice.
I don't know how to program like 100%. I know how programming I know how it should work, how like the format of you typing them, and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of helped
Yeah.
me a lot into getting into CV2 very quickly. I think I
Oh,
got
nice.
CV2 clicked for me, I think 2 weeks after it
Mm-hmm.
was like released,
Mm.
something like that.
Okay.
Wow. Wait, did you wait
Oh,
2 days
nice.
or 2 weeks? Did you say?
Oh, I think a week to 2 weeks, something like that.
I was gonna say 2 days.
No,
That would have
no.
been incredible if you if it literally clicked after 2 days. When
Mm-hmm.
gadgets in general still don't click for me after years.
Yeah, I'm taking it one step at a time.
Guys, can you stop that?
I'm
It's
one
taking out the
step at a
sound for
time.
me. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and
I
adjust
usually
your
mute all
sounds.
of
We'll take
your
a
sounds
quick second to go
without
ahead and
voice.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you guys want to lower your sounds, go ahead and go
Mm.
to your watches real quick. Go to audio, and then we'll lower sounds. Yeah, I've lowered
I just
sounds, and
muted
it's lowered on
everything
the
except
stream as well.
voices.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
stream has we
I
adjusted something
guess
beginning as
that.
well. There you are. Perfect. Oh yeah, so we're talking about like how your background has helped you guys has helped circuits click for you, which is I'm going
Mm.
to I think it the next question maps really well to this. Do you think um do you believe you may need to be good at math to do circuits? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, my thoughts are that it's not required. Like you don't need to be perfect at math. It just
Mhm.
helps getting into it.
Mm.
If you're not good at math, you're just going to take a
Right.
little bit more time. That's what
Mhm.
I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
math,
there's
Swagamuffin?
quite there's
Mhm.
quite a few things you can do um without involving numbers at all. Um,
Mhm.
there are quite a few builds you can build with just not even math, just numbers and logic gates will get you very,
Mhm.
very far. So
Yep.
Oh, okay.
depends. If you want to make something really complex, if you want
Yeah.
to be on the breaking edge
Right.
of all the new things that are happening with CV2,
Mhm.
yeah, you probably need a good understanding uh, of a lot of different mathematical functions that are oftentimes used in
Right.
programming. But
Oh,
for the
okay.
average user, I don't think it is a hard requirement to be really good at math
Mhm.
before you can even start with CV1 or
Mhm.
CV2.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. No, that's great. We have a few more questions still that I have here listed, but audience, at around this time, please feel free to start adding your questions for the Q&A portion. You can just go to our YouTube live stream, go to YouTube, and in search bar put POW Jams, and you'll see the live stream. In the live chat, go ahead and start typing any questions you may have. If by chance you can't, if for those here in game with us, if by chance you can't access YouTube, no worries. Go ahead and point at me and DM me or comment on the watch. I think that'd be good. All right. Okay, so our next question here is um this is more about like your process. Okay. So how do you decide how to build the circuitry needed for a room? So for example, is it like an
Hmm.
organic process or do you map it out in a more methodical way? What is your approach, Alexa? And I guess it may, and also
Um,
if it differs, how do you decide?
my approach that I first give out, like I say, hey, what I wanted to do. I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
thinking of how I'm gonna do it. I just want to think like, hey, what I want to do at the end of it. And then as I
Oh,
start
okay.
like building out like the visual, like the buildings around it, I
Mm-hmm.
start doing the circuits. That's why I have a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
revisions to my system. So
Mm-hmm.
picture you're looking right now is the first revision of the admin system that was in Circuit Think Tank. The problem it is that
Oh,
if you see, it has a lot of nodes. That's kind of what they called in CV2. And the problem with
right.
that is back then, if you had too many connections, it would actually bug out CV2. So I had
Mm-hmm.
to like kind of rethink that part of the circuit, and eventually came into. I don't want to go into much depth because it's gonna make people sleep, but um I managed to shrink it down by quite a lot. And that's the revision that right now
Mhm.
lives in the second think tank.
Oh, wow.
Wait, so
Okay.
all of that there, is that like all one thing that acts together to do something, or is it just like
Yeah.
you testing out?
Um no, it's all of it is one system. It's just couple it's like a couple different like subsystems in it. This is
Yeah.
basically kind of the moderation tools we have in second think tank for people who
Oh,
like
yeah.
try to fly away or stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Surely that must take up a
Oh,
lot to
nice.
think, though.
No, not at all. All of this
No,
takes like 0% because CV2 doesn't take any
seriously.
ink. Yeah.
Circuit 32
Oh.
runs on heat, which means that
Oh.
it is only taking up resources as long as it
Mm-hmm.
is firing. If a system has fulfilled its function
Oh.
and goes dormant after,
Oh,
it
wow.
basically is not taking up any resources. So
Yeah.
you have a limit on how much things can be active at the same time,
Yeah.
but you have no limit on how much you want to have in your room. Although there's probably a hard cap on like how much data a room server can save,
Example,
or
this
how
was
much.
kind of the hard. Yeah, this was kind of like almost the limit of how much CV2 you could do in a room. After
Yeah.
that, you can
Mm-hmm.
just see like if you try like doing like CV2 in that room when that system was in there, you couldn't see any wires
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
Actually,
had
we
to
have,
shrink it down by a lot.
yeah, we have a question
That's a
from our
visual
live
thing.
chat, actually specifically about like the way you kind of described V2 how it works, Swaga. Like, can you talk about more about heat? They were wondering about like that expression. You said V2 uses heat. Can you explain that a little bit? Maybe break that down a bit more for
Um,
everyone else.
yeah, it's a meter that goes up to 100%. if it reaches 100% in one within too much time, then it cannot process any more other functions. So any calculation, any activation of a chip, any updating of a chip generates a tiny bit of heat. If you fire too much at the same
Oh,
time, it'll reach a cap,
right.
and anything else gets discarded because the server can't handle that
Mhm.
much computation at the same
Oh,
time.
oh, I see. Good question. This question
Yep.
was from Call Me Tom. Thank you, Call Me Tom. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Swag. The question for you as well. When you're deciding on how to build with circuits for a room, is it organic or do you plan? And if you do both, how what are its examples of where you went one way with organic or one way with methodical?
I think there's two main things that two main ways that I can build that kind of come to me. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not that controlled. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of them is just being like, hey, if I slap that together, that could make a really cool game idea. So I'm just gonna, you know, try and make that work and build
Yeah.
until, build a little bit until I'm afraid that if I test it, it will crash and burn everything at the same time. We test that, we build a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more if it works, otherwise bug fix. Um,
Right.
it's definitely a bit more slapping together than planning anything out methodically. And the
Mm-hmm.
other one
Okay.
is just having a good idea, but being a bit stuck on how to get it started. Oftentimes, it's a a single calculation because, like I said, electrical and mechanical engineering, but no programming background, so I don't have that.
Okay.
And it's been quite a time since my last math lesson, um, which normally takes me, you know, then the answer oftentimes finds me the next day, and then I test out my theory.
Mhm. That's actually pretty
Oh,
interesting.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but the building process itself is oftentimes just slapping together, thinking that it might work that way, and then activating it, and then nothing goes according to plan, and then just uh, fixing it from there, and hopefully end up somewhere with a
So
finished
how long
product.
do you think
Yeah.
that would take you to like think about about all these ideas?
Um, I mean, I just this afternoon I built a jetpack, which with the new impulse
My
volumes,
goodness.
which was pretty
Oh
fun.
No
wow.
way.
And because I've
Oh my
never
god.
I never worked with well, even Vector is kind of a programming thing, but trying to get the thrust in the right direction based on where you have objects was still a bit new to me. Um,
Hmm.
and that was, I made a testing rig that made a little ball point in the right direction based on where you move another controller, basically, and from there it all
Hmm.
kind of clicks.
Wow.
It's a
That's
little bit
so
of a
cool.
eureka moment.
Eureka.
Yes.
Like,
Nice.
I've kind of a
Yeah.
sentence that people usually say when they do this. If
Yeah.
your system works the first time, you should be worried.
Oh,
And if
really?
and it usually doesn't. It usually never works at the first time you do it. You
See, that
always
Oh,
would
have
stress me
don't
to
out.
try.
try to find it.
That would stress me out because I would want to get it right like
Yeah.
on the first time. So constantly having to add new gadgets, adding like new connecting the wires to different
Yeah.
things. Like
Yeah.
that's what confuses me the most. How are you meant to know what chips you're meant to use? That's I don't
Right.
Mm.
understand how
Yeah. Like
you
I can say, like since I started doing like big projects, I never had
Yeah.
one time where I just built the first time and it worked. Like, great.
Wow.
Yeah. So circuitry for me is kind of like packing for vacation. If I find out that I forgot to pack something, then at least I know that I forgot to pack something. Else I'm gonna be worried because I always forget something. On what did I forget? And circuitry is much the same way, as in, if something breaks, we can fix it. If something didn't break, that's kind of creepy because what is going wrong? Because I'm used to
Yeah.
things going wrong.
Yeah.
at least
Surely that's
in the first
annoying though.
iteration.
Like things breaking all
Yeah.
the time, especially after new updates come out.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know stuff always
keeping
breaks after
things
updates.
updated. Keeping things updated is a constant in RecRoom. That's
Yeah,
that's
of
not
course.
just a circuit problem.
Well, it's a problem, yeah, with everything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we have a question from the audience that actually leads us to another question that I've gathered from the community. A question from the audience from PB James 429. PB James, good question. They want to know what is your favorite circuit gadget to work with? And then we'll segue into the community question, just pretty similar. What's your favorite circuit or gadget to work with, and why? Why would you choose that
I
one?
don't have like I don't have like a number one. I have like almost like 5 to 10. If I'll name a few,
I have a number.
It's a difficult question because a circuit by
Yeah.
itself doesn't do anything. You have to link it onto something else before it, has something to interact with. I
I'll tell
I
you
guess the state
my
machine, because
favorite
if you have just the state machine,
state
you can
machine.
do a lot of things.
See if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Oh my
I
god.
guess
I'm proud of myself for just knowing which tab it was. Okay, go ahead.
I guess in CV1, I would choose the random chip because you can save data to it, and that is the way of saving data in CV1. And in CV2, I would choose the kind of the vector and the math chips. Those are like
vector and
some of
math
my
chips.
useful. Yeah. Oh, you can call them
how do I
nodes.
get to that?
They're kind of being called nodes. Oh, you can't get it in
nodes.
in here.
Nice.
I think for CV1 for me, if it's a single chip,
yeah,
I'm going off by like which one really opens up opportunities. When you first find out what the advanced comparer can do, that opens up a lot of different ways to make all kinds of math functions that you hadn't thought about, make all kinds of logic gates that you hadn't thought about earlier. I think that one is a very good one. Just to once you get it, it opens up way more opportunity. And for does CV2 have one of those?
Yeah.
I'm not sure actually.
Like CV2 is more built up to be like a stuff that you put together. It's not like CV1 where they're like ready-made chips for you. So it's very hard for us to pick like favorite CV2 chips and nodes.
Yeah.
No, good one. No, this is.
I mean, I guess I'd have to go with the rotator.
With the rotator?
Makes things spin.
Oh yeah.
A rotator. Just a rotator?
Hey, that's
no way.
legit.
It makes
Okay, fair enough.
makes
Okay, fair enough.
doors, it makes
Rotators are cool.
revolving
Rotators are
doors,
cool.
It makes,
Okay,
it makes a
rotators can do a
windmill.
lot. I take that back. I take that back. I
I love it. I
underestimated the rotator.
Yeah. We can attach ourselves to it, perhaps in some way. We could spin too. We all love roller coasters.
Imagine if you could do that. That would be insane.
I love it. I love it. So that leads us to a question from the community, which we're thinking about favorites here. Okay, so let me see here. Oh, so what is your favorite circuit diagram or tricks that you've learned? Wisdom time, you guys. Wisdom. All right. Yeah.
Okay. In CV1, I have the advanced comparator. It's amazing with what it can do. In fact, said the logic gates and a lot of the math equations. I also really like the random chip because
Mm.
you can use it to like that's the one of the ways of storing data in CV1. Like there's no variables in CV1. Like one of the only ways to store a random chip. In CV2, I think the turning whoever doesn't know, CV2 is different in CV1 by how it operates. So there's kind of two ways. There's a synced and there's a local. Synced is like the type that runs of each one like watch globally, meaning everyone is being affected by that circuit. And
Right.
locally is only one person. It's only affecting like one person. So my favorite trick in CV2 is the ability to turn a synced like signal, meaning it normally affects
Ooh.
everyone,
Mm.
to a local one. So it only affects like a player.
Mhm.
For example, the button in CV2 is synced. So when I connect it to like
Okay.
a notification to like I want to show a specific player, it shows it to like everyone, and I have to use that diagram. There's also like a player output that like gives you the player who pressed that button.
Mhm.
So I use
Okay.
that to determine, hey, I pressed that button. Um, if that player who presses that button is part of that signal, allow him to go into notification. That way, if for example I press the button, it checks for everyone whoever pressed that button. For example, it will not go to you or Swag, but it will go to me because I pressed it.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
that's cool.
I'm still
I
getting
think
like new to
yeah.
explaining CV2, so it's kind of hard for me. That's why I don't teach it
Oh,
yet.
no worries.
I mean,
No, no worries.
I guess
No.
it's difficult enough
Yeah.
to learn it, let alone to
Yeah,
teach it.
I
So,
think
Yeah.
a good example of instance is having a random chip on a variable, on an
Right.
instance variable. So every player can have their own number on that variable chip. But if you grab your circuitry and you look at it, for you there is only one chip. But because every player's system runs a copy of that chip and also a copy of the random chip, they can all have a different number for their specific player
mhm.
value. Um, yeah,
Oh,
to give
nice.
an example. It's one of the biggest like brain hurdles you have to get over while transitioning from V1 to V2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Pro tips. What are some of your favorite diagrams or pro tips for you,
Mm,
Swagamuffin?
Um.
I think tricks is a weird word. Like
Tricks you've
you
learned.
can't
Yeah.
just do
Okay.
5 plus 5 and out comes 11 instead of 10. Like
You
circuits
can't.
doesn't do tricks like
I
that.
thought.
They're very
I thought it.
straightforward. Um, I think my favorite tip is like not just configure everything, but also edit everything and play around because
Yeah.
so much of every chip has all kinds of hidden functions within its configure menu, and with CV2, some chips even open up a lot of possibilities that you don't see on the outside if you edit them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
do want to bring
try
an
it on everything.
example. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't want to bring an example. If you remember a few AMAs ago, people asked like RecRoom if there's gonna be zero gravity physics in RecRoom, and they say that that is possible. They just can't do it because I don't exactly, I think it was something technical. But here comes the impulse chip CV2, and we have the ability to have actual zero gravity in rooms. So CV2
Okay.
have a lot of secrets in them. Check everything.
Wow. Love it. Okay, so we have
Unless
some
you're just
questions from
starting
the
out, don't
audience. Yeah, go
don't
ahead.
try and check
No, no.
don't try and check
Yeah.
every chip at the same time if you're just starting out. That's just
That's
that's
see,
just
that's
gonna
kind
burn
of what
out
I
your
do.
brain.
That's kind of what I
Yeah.
do, and I think that's where I go wrong because I always
Yeah.
look at all of them straight away, and I'm just like, I don't know how to put these
No.
together.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I don't even know what a randomizer chip is. I know it's in the name, but
if
I wouldn't know how to use it.
if you want to start small in CVT, I can bring out a very simple example. Try to do like what I did. Like you press a button and it shows you like a notification, but only to you and not other players. That is a very interesting circuit to start from. That's what I did.
I'd say
That's what I
learn how to
started.
make a light
Yeah.
switch.
Whoa.
Oh, learn how to make a light switch? Okay.
No way.
Yeah,
Pro tip to get started.
because
Nice.
there's a lot of it teaches you how to
Mhm.
set values on variables. So
Oh
change a
yeah.
1 to a 0, which is depending on the variable can be all kinds of values. And it's kind of a cornerstone of CV2. So once you get that, that's
Mhm.
a good way to start your CV2.
Yep. And the
Nice.
example of the button, it just
Yeah.
teaches you how synced versus instance works in CV2. So
Mhm.
starting out in CV2, you should look at
Mm.
like different systems, not like just like
Mhm.
one.
Oh, nice. We have a couple questions from the audience as well. We'll go ahead and go into our Q&A portion before we wrap it up. We're already reached near the end of the of our event. From Goose, Goose asked Swaga, and we can ask both everyone here. What advice do you have for people that want to learn to code?
Um, make sure it fits you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Make sure it fits you. Okay.
make sure your brain is wired that way, because just like artistic insights,
Mm-hmm.
um, or you know being good at math is a good start, but it's really
Mm-hmm.
it really drives from that logical part of your brain. So
Hmm.
if that meshes with you, it's probably a good fit. Give it a shot. Try out some circuitry, because CV2 is basically a coding language almost of
Mm-hmm.
itself. I'm sure that offended some
Mm-hmm.
hardcore coders that I said that,
Yeah.
but it's classified as a visual coding language.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
mean, it
if that
technically is.
works for you, definitely, like, do a evening course in computer science and see if that like really clicks for
Gotcha.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Love it. Do you have any
Um,
Sorry we
advice,
can't
Alexa?
hear you
Yeah.
from here, but I appreciate the
my advice
enthusiasm.
is
Yes.
if you're not an English native speaker, I don't know why it would apply to you since I'm speaking English, but um, what I did, like I couldn't code because I still haven't learned English. That was like almost 5 years ago.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
after like I started learning like a lot more English and started speaking about it more natively, I then started to
Right.
understand a lot more, so a lot more how circuitry works and how actual coding works. That's why CVT was kind of easy to get into.
Right. Okay, nice. The other question we have, let's see here. All right. It's actually related to inventions, uh, including Lady Kelsey. They're also asking you,
Oh
Lady
yeah.
Kelsey, and everyone here.
I mean, this
What are
is
some
meant
of
to
your
be a
favorite?
circuit thing, not
I know it's like a circuit. Like, what are some of your favorite circuit inventions that you may have come across?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really looking at inventions. I just build
Mm-hmm.
my own
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But
Sure, you go. You could speak to your stuff as well. Yes.
yeah, but I want to change a bit of the question. See what was the coolest circuitry I seen. Um,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
that
Definitely.
and that was that was a very long time ago. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I can't exactly remember. But um, it was a very while ago when when only CV1 was,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like very
Right.
basic. At this point, it didn't have
Right.
any state machines, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, It's very hard to come with an answer. I'm gonna have to skip that question,
Oh
fortunately.
no, no worries
That's
at all.
alright.
No worries
Mm.
at all. Mm-hmm.
All right.
I love it.
Um.
So yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So my favorite. I'll. It's really simple. I think anyone can do it, so I'll just give a tutorial. My favorite circuit invention is you take yourself a ping pong ball, you take yourself a holotar, and you take yourself a clamp. You start recording your holotar, cell scale, and fly up really, really high so that you leave your body behind on the holotar. Just have your head and your hands. Then you just wait the 30 seconds, super, super still, on the holotar. And once the holotar is done recording, you clamp the holotar to the ball in a way that the head will overlap with the
Mm-hmm.
ball, and that way you can just throw your own holotar head around.
Oh.
It's great. It's beautiful. It's a thing of art.
I learned about that
Yeah.
in one of my
It's a
classes
thing of art,
project.
and anyone can do it. You just turn the holotar on to be always on. Learn how to wire a clamp, and you're good to go.
Mm.
Awesome. And we'll go to the final question that we've taken from the audience. They're asking if you're all self-taught. Are you self-taught? Pretty much. I think the answer is mm-hmm.
When it comes to CB1, technically yes.
Right.
I did attend a
Okay.
few second classes, but
Mhm.
eventually what led me to do CB1 and CB2 and actual programming is me.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
I didn't
Yeah.
study or learn from it or anything, but
Mhm.
you check YouTube videos, you check in with other circuiteers.
Mhm.
I don't think it's something you can just look at circuitry without any prior knowledge and just be like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to ask questions. You're gonna have to collab with some other circuiteers and
Yes.
exchange
Circuiteers.
mouth words and brain ideas.
Yes.
You know.
And pro
Mm.
tips and best practices.
Yep.
That's great. I love it. And to wrap up our final question, okay, we like to ask all circuit masters is, in your own words, explain how circuits work in one sentence. How do circuits
Oh.
work in
Um.
one
Okay.
sentence?
I'm gonna do two different words for CB2 and CB1. CB1 for me is spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
And CB2.
Spaghetti.
I love it. Spaghetti. Yeah.
And
CB1
CB2
with
for me
spaghetti. Okay.
is gibberish. Gibberish of numbers
Oh.
and actual words.
Oh my gosh. I
Spaghetti.
love it. Yeah.
I think I said this before the stream went live, but
Mhm.
circuitry is like 1 + 1 is 2, but
Yeah.
with 20 layers of abstraction on top of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Very, very nice. Oh, thank you guys so much.
The core is logic, but
Yeah.
you need to learn how to apply it and
Yeah,
see through all that weirdness. Yep.
definitely. Wonderful. All right. Thank you guys so very much. That is the end of this awesome discussion today. You guys, please feel free to follow up with any further questions. Send them over in the live chat right now. We'll have it open for another minute or so. And feel free to DM and point and cheers right now. Point and cheers to Alexa and Swagamuffin.
Hell yeah.
For spending their time and sharing
Point
their
and
wisdom with
cheers.
us. Thank you guys so much. Yes, point cheers. Let's use those cheers. Represent. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. Love it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Yes. So let's look at your I'm going to point at your profile so we can have a look at how people can follow you. So here is Alexa's username. So you can go ahead and follow. For those of you at home, go ahead and you can type that in on RecNet. Okay. I think I'm muted. No worries. I'm just gonna open up your profiles. Here's Alexa's profile.
Mhm.
Nice. There you go. Alexa Rec. There we are. And then over here, we have Swagamuffin at Swagamuffin. There you are. Love it. All right, everybody. All right, see you next time. Thanks so
Alright,
much for joining
See ya.
us.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Go.
Where's the camera?
Bye.
I'm gonna eat the camera. Okay.
I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let